Today we will see class 12 Sociology chapter 2, the demographic structure of the Indian society. Demography is a systematic study of population. The term is of Greek origin and is composed of two words, demos people and graphein describe. Implying the description of people, demography studies the trends and process associated with the population, including changes in population size, patterns of birth, deaths and migration, and the structure and the composition of the population, such as the relative proportions of women, men and different age groups. There are different varieties of demography, including formal demography, which is a large quantitative field, and the social demography, which focus on the social, economic or political aspects of population. All the demographic studies are based on the processes of counting or enumeration, such as census or the survey, which involves the systematic collection of data on the people residing within a specific territory. Demography is a field that is of special importance to sociology. In fact, the emergence of sociology and its successful establishment as an academic discipline owed a lot of demography. Two different processes happened to take place at roughly the same time in Europe during the latter half of the 18th century. The formation of nation states as the principal form of the political organization and the beginnings of the modern science of statistics. The modern state had begun to expand its role and functions. It had, for instance, began to take an active interest in the development of early forms of public health management, policing and maintenance of law and order, economic policies relating to agriculture and industry, taxation and revenue generation, and the governance of the cities. This new and constantly expanding sphere of state activity required a systematic and regular collection of social statistics or quantitative data on various aspects of the population and economy. The practice of the collection of social statistics by the state is in itself much older, but it acquired its modern form towards the end of the 18th century. The American census of 1790 was probably the first modern census, and the practice was soon taken up in Europe as well in early 18th. In India, the census began to be conducted by the British government between the British Indian government between 1867 to 72, and a regular 10-yearly decennial census have been conducted since 1881. Independent India continued the practice, and 7 decennial census have been conducted since 1951, the most recent being in 2011. The Indian census is the largest such exercise in the world (since China, which has a slightly larger population, does not conduct a regular census. Demographic data are important for the planning and the implementation of state policies, specifically those for economic development and general public welfare. But when they first emerged, social statistics also provided a strong justification for a new discipline of sociology. Aggregate statistics, or the numerical characteristic that refer to a large collectively consisting of millions of people offer a concrete and strong argument for the existence of social phenomena, even though country level or state level statistics like the number of deaths per 1000 population or the death rate are made up of by aggregating in bracket or adding up individual deaths. The death rate itself is a social phenomenon and must be explained at the social level. Emil Durkheim's famous study explaining the variations in the suicide rates across the different countries was a good example of this. Durkheim argued that the rate of suicide, that is the number of suicides per 100,000 population, had to be explained by a social causes, even though each particular instance of suicides may have involved reasons specific to that individual or her or his circumstance. Sometimes a distinction is made between formal demography and a broader field of population studies. Formal democracy is primarily concerned with the measurement and the analysis of the components of population change. Its focus is on quantitative analysis, for which it has highly developed the mathematical methodologies suitable for forecasting population growth and the changes in the composition of population. Population studies or social demography, on the other hand, inquires into the wider causes and the consequence of population structures and change. Social demographers believe that the social processes and the structures regulate demographic processes. Like sociologists, they seek to treat the social reasons that account for population trends. 2.1 Some theories and concepts in demography. The Malthusian theory of population growth. Among the most famous theories of demography is the one associated with the English political economist Thomas Robert Malthus in bracket 1766 to 1834. Malthus' theory of population growth, outlined in his essay on population 1798, was a rather pessimistic one. He argued that human populations tend to grow at a much faster rate than the rate at which the means of human subsistence, in brackets specifically food but also clothing and other agriculture based products, can grow. Therefore, humanity is condemned to live in poverty forever, because the growth of agricultural production will always be overtaken by the population growth. While population rises in geometric progression, that is like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc., agricultural production can only grow in arithmetic progression, that is like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc., because population growth always outstrips growth in production of subsistence resources. The only way to increase their prosperity is by controlling the growth of population. Unfortunately, humanity has only the limited ability to voluntarily reduce the growth of its population, in bracket through the preventive checks such as postponing marriage or practicing the sexual abstinency or celibacy. Matthews believed, therefore, that the positive checks to population growth in the form of famines and the diseases were inevitable, because there were nature's way of dealing with the imbalance between food supply and the increasing population. Matthews' theory was influential for a long time, but it was also challenged by theorists who claimed that the economic growth would outstrip population growth. Box 2.1. The power of population is so superior to the power of the earth to produce the subsistence for man that premature death must in some shape or other visit the human race. The vases of mankind are active and able the ministers of depopulation. They are the precursors in the great army of destruction and often finish that dreadful work themselves. But should they fail in this war of extermination, strictly reasons, epidemics, pestilence, and plague advance in terrific array and sweep off their thousands and tens of thousands. Should success be still incomplete, gigantic, inevitable famine stalks in the rear, and with one mighty blow levels the population with the flood of the world. Thomas Robert Malthus, An Essay of the Principle of Population, 1798. Thomas Robert Malthus, 1766 to 1834. Malthus studied at Cambridge and trained to became a Christian priest. Later he was appointed professor of history and political economy at the East India Company College at Haileybury near London. He was a training centre for the officials recruited to the Indian civil services. However, the most effective refutations of this theory was provided by the historical experience of European countries. The pattern of population growth began to change in the latter half of the 19th century, but by the end of the first quarter of the 20th century, these changes were quite dramatic. Birth rates had declined and outbreaks of the epidemic disease were being controlled. Matthew's predictions were proved false because both food production and standards of living continued to rise despite the rapid growth of population. Malthus was also criticized by the liberal and the Marxist scholars for asserting that poverty was caused by population growth. The critics argued that the problems like poverty and starvation were caused by the unequal distribution of economic resources rather than by population growth. An unjust social system allowed a wealthy and privileged minority to live in luxury while the vast majority of the people were forced to live in poverty. The theory of demographic transition. Another significant theory in demography is the theory of demographic transition. This suggests that population growth is linked to overall levels of economic development and that every society follows a typical pattern of development related to population growth. There are three basic phases of population growth. The first stage is that of low population growth in a society that is underdeveloped and technologically backward. Growth rates are low because both the death rate and the birth rate are very high, so that the difference between the two in bracket, the net growth rate is low. The third in bracket at last, the stage is also one of the low growth in a developed society where both the death rate and birth rate have been reduced considerably and the difference between them is again small. Between these two stages is a transitional stage of movement from a backward to an advanced stage, and this stage is characterized by very high rates of growth of population. This population explosion happens because death rates are brought down relatively quickly through advanced methods of disease control, public health and better nutrition. However, it takes longer for society to adjust to change and altered its reproductive behavior in bracket which are evolved during the period of poverty and high death rates to suit the new situation of relative prosperity and longer lifespans. This kind of transitions was effected in Western Europe during the late 19th and early 20th century. More or less similar patterns are followed in the less developed countries that are struggling to reduce the birth rate in keeping with the falling mortality rate. In India too, the demographic transition is not yet complete as the mortality rate has been reduced but the death rate has not been brought down to the same extent. Activity 1.1. Read the session on the previous page, the quotation from Mathers in box 2.1. One reason why the Mathers was proved wrong is the substantial increases in the productivity of agriculture. Can you find out how these productivity increases occurred? That is, what were the factors that made agriculture more productive? What would be some of the other reasons why Matthews was wrong? Discuss with your classmates and make a list with the help of your teacher. Thank you. Sharing is caring. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more knowledge.